Hello and welcome back. This is Saxon Math Course 1. This is Lesson 18. We're looking at average and line graphs. Average is when you add the numbers and then divide by the number of numbers. So for example, if you have 8, 7, and 3, you can find the average by adding 8 plus 7 plus 3, which equals 18, and then divide by the number of numbers. There was 3 numbers, so 18 is the total for the sum of those numbers. The number of numbers was 3, so 18 divided by 3 equals 6. The average of 8, 7, and 3 is 6. You can also find the halfway point of two numbers, which is similar to an average. You would add the two numbers and then divide by the number of numbers again, which are 2. So for example, if you have 27 and 81, all you need to do is take 27 plus 81, which equals 108, and divide 108 by 2, because that's the number of numbers. 108 divided by 2 would be 54. We're also going to look at line graphs, which are points connected by line segments that show how measurement changes over time. All right, example 1. In 4 classrooms, there are 28 students, 27 students, 26 students, and 31 students. What was the average number of students in each classroom? So to find the average of these, all I need to do is take 28 plus 27 plus 26 plus 31. Once I get that sum, I need to divide it by the number of numbers. I can see that there are 4 numbers here. So I'm going to divide this by 4, and I'm going to end up with my answer, which will be the average. So 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 6 makes 21, plus 2 makes 22. 2, 4, 6, 8 plus 3 makes 11. I need to do 112 divided by 4, which is the same as 2, which gets me to 8. That'd be 3, bring this 2 down. I'd end up with 32 divided by that, 28. So the average is 28, and then we're talking about students here. 28 students is the average in each classroom. So 28 students per classroom would be the best label. That's the average. Let's look at average if we had 8 buttons, 7 buttons, and 3 buttons. What would be the average of those? Well, if we were to add all these together, I can see that it's 15 plus 3, which makes 18, and 18 divided by 3 is 6. The average of 8, 7, and 3 is 6. I can also look at it as a picture. So if I was going to say, okay, I need to distribute these equally, I can look at it like this. If I was to distribute all of these buttons equally, I would end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See that? So we had 8, 7, and 3. And if we moved each of those buttons and distribute them equally, that's what we'd end up with as an average. Average is 6. So that's how you can look at average. Let's try another one. What's the average of 4, 9, and 8? So I need to take 4 plus 9 plus 8 and I need to find a sum of that, and then I'm going to divide that answer by 1, 2, 3, because there's 3 of those, and that will give me the average. So 4 plus 9 is 13. 13 plus 8 makes 21. 21 divided by 3 is 7. That's the average. What number is halfway between 27 and 81? Well, that's the same as an average. 27 plus 81 would be that answer divided by 2. You're going to end up with the halfway point. So you end up with 8 here. This would be 10. 108 divided by 2 is the same as 5. This would be 10. This would be 0. This would be 8. That'd be 4. So the average, or the halfway point, 54, would be halfway between those numbers. Let's look at a line graph here. So in this line graph shows Margie's height in inches from her 8th birthday. So you can see she was 8 years old here, age in years, to her 14th birthday, all the way to the age of 14. During which year did she grow the most? Well, here's how tall she was when she was 8. She was 48 inches tall when she was 8 years old. And then she went up to approximately 50 inches when she was 9. So this is about, 2 inches right here. That's a 2-inch increase. From here to here, looks like it's another 2-inch increase because it's from 50 to 52. When she was 10 and 11, she went from 52 inches to 50. This looks like 57 inches. So 57 minus 52, that would be a 5-inch increase between the age of 10 and 11. From 11 years old to 12 years old, she went from 57 inches to 70 or 60, which makes 3 inches. And between 12 and 13, she went from 60 to 62, so that's a 2-inch increase. And this one looks like a 1-inch increase in height. So you can see clearly it was this 5 inches, which was this 10 years old to 11 years old year. So the year she was 10. So when she was 10 years old to 11 years old. Okay, there's your answer. It's using a line graph. You see that you can see the progression. You can see if she grew or didn't grow so much, and you can tell pretty clearly when you just look at it. So let's try these. Letter A, there were 26 books on the first shelf, 36 books on the second shelf, and 43 books on the third shelf. Velma rearranged the books so that there were the same number of books on each shelf. After Velma rearranged the books, how many were on the first shelf? So remember, you just need to add them and then divide by the number of numbers. So go ahead and try letter A. For letter A, you should have had 26 plus 36 plus 43. Once you answer that, you have to divide it by 3 because there's 3 numbers. So I have 12 plus 3 makes 15. 5 plus 5 makes 10. So I have 105 divided by 3. I'm just going to do that right here. 105 divided by 3. This would be 3. You'd get as close as 9. 15. 15 divided by 3 would be 35. There'd be nothing left over. So that would be 35 books on each shelf. So this would be however many books would be on the first shelf. It's also however many books would be on the second and third. All right, let's do letter B. What is the average of 96, 44, 68, and 100? Let me put letter B right here for us. So I'm just going to line those up. I've got 96, 44, 68, and 100. I'm going to add those first, and then I have to divide the answer of that sum, or the sum of those problems divided by, there's 4 of those, and that's going to be my average. So 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 6 more makes 18. 1 plus 9 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. So this is 20. I'm going to carry the 2 right here. 2 plus 1 makes 3. Now I need to do 308. Let me just do that over here. 308 divided by 4. 7 will go in there 28 times. Subtract that. I get 28 here, and 28 divided by 4 would be 7. So that means the average for number or letter B would be 77. Letter C, go ahead and do that one. What is the number that's halfway between 28 and 82? For letter C, I would just need to do 28 plus 82 and then divide that by 2 because there's two numbers. So this would be 10, carry the 1, that'd be 10 plus 1 makes 11. 110 divided by 2, hopefully most of you know that 100 divided by 10 or 2 would be 50, and then 10 divided by 2 would be 5, so 110 divided by 2 is 55. Letter D, go ahead and do letter D. What number is halfway between 86 and 102? Okay, you should have gotten 86 plus 102, doesn't matter what order you do it in as long as you line up the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. And I have 8, 8, and 1, and that has to be divided by 2. So this would be, looks like 64 would be the halfway point for 86. That doesn't sound right. So I'm going to go backwards. I need to take, I just want to do this, make sure I've got it. Should have been 19, 9, I guess. So that'd be 9. This would be 18. Subtract that. This would be 8. 94. That sounds much better. 94 would have been the best answer. Letter E. Find the average of 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. So if I'm going to do that, I just need to add those up. Go ahead and do that. For letter E, I'm just going to do 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 12 plus 15. And add those up. This would end up being 15, 25. So this would be 25. This would be 45. And I have to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So the average of that should be 9 for letter E. Letter F. How many inches did Margie grow from her 8th to her 12th birthday? So we need to look at the example 4. From her 8th to her 12th birthday, how many inches? So let's go back. From her 8th to her 12th, so from here to here, she went from 48 inches to 68, or 60, sorry. So that means for letter F, so in her 8th birthday, she was 48 inches. And her 12th birthday, she was 60 inches. So how much did she grow? All right, you should have had 60 minus 48. Subtract that. You'd have to borrow. This would turn into 10. You'd end up with 2 here, 1 there, and that would be the answer. 12 inches is how much she grew. Letter G, during which year did Margie grow the least? So going back, You can see she grew 2 inches here, she grew 2 inches here, 5 here, 3 here, 2 here, and 1 here. Look at the age in years and then answer that for letter G. All right, you should have answered for letter G. You should have answered that it was, let me double check it. The 1 inch time frame was from the age of 13 to 14. So she was 13 years old. That was the year. And then letter H. Based on the information in the graph, would you predict that Margie will grow to be 68 inches tall? So looking back at the graph, here she is 65 inches tall. So she's 65 inches tall and she's 14. Is she going to grow another, I guess, from 65, she's going to grow another 3 inches. So it looks like she was growing 2 inches, 2 inches, 5 inches, a big growth spurt, 3 inches, 2 inches, and she started to slow down at the age of 13 and 14. So if, let's say she grew just 1 more inch this year, she's 15. What if she grew another inch when she was 16? Maybe. Usually people stop growing somewhere around the age of 18. Sometimes people have growth spurts in their first year of college, but most of the time people are done growing by the age of Margie right here. So based on the information in the graph, would you predict that Margie will grow to be 68 inches tall? What do you believe? Go ahead and answer that. For letter H, I would say that probably not. So that's your best answer. Probably not, but it is possible. It's not impossible, but it's not probable. So I would say probably not is the best choice. All right, thanks for watching, and make sure you guys complete WP18 next time we meet for math class. Have a great night.